Firefighters from throughout Scottsbluff and Banner counties joined forces for roughly 6 hours to battle a grass fire near Lake Minnetonka that burned more than 150 acres. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, a large grass fire Thursday about 4 miles west of Lake Minnetonka burned nearly 170 acres and consumed one vehicle, a garage, and 3 sheds, but there was no further damage and no injuries. Scottsville Rural Fire Chief Carissa Shank-Grubbs says the department was called around 12:45 p.m. to a location at County Road G and County Road 25, finding the Camden grass fire had consumed a large area of grass and several small outbuildings. A seat plane was called in to assist with the fire, and departments throughout Scottsbluff and Banner counties provided mutual aid, along with Game and Parks and local farmers bringing in discs and water tanks. Emergency alerts were issued to the residents of the surrounding area to be prepared for evacuations, and Scottsbluff County Sheriff Mark Overman told KNEB News there had been a few instances where deputies had to do so. Shank-Grubbs says fire crews cleared the scene around 7 p.m., and the state fire marshal believes the fire was the result of a rekindle of a burn pile. Well, the Scottsbluff City Council and city department heads joined city manager Kevin Spencer as he presented the entire proposed budget for next year in full. Spencer says the goal of Thursday's budget workshop was to provide the general highlights of the budget, discuss capital improvement projects, and some unavoidable increases like insurance costs. He tells KNEB News he took a very conservative approach to this year's budget due to some moving parts. Both the city's LB 840 and sales use tax renewal will be on the voters' ballot this year in November, as well as impacts from Governor Pillen's special session.
Sales and use tax is, that's our entire 1.5% sales tax, and that's how we fund city government. I mean, that's what keeps our property taxes as low as they are. You know, we got the second lowest mill levy in the state, and it's because of our sales and use tax. So we really want to see that be successful in November. It's important to us, and it's important to the community, for sure.
The proposal will be subject to a budget hearing in early September where all the ordinances will be introduced, and the current timeline has the full budget being submitted to the state by the end of September. And the Western Community College Area Board of Governors has officially declared a vacancy in District 3 due to the resignation of Misty Curtis and is seeking individuals interested in filling the vacant position. Curtis recently resigned to take over as director of the Alliance campus. District 3 contains all of Box Butte County, the Broadwater precinct in Morrill County, and the Dewey, Tabor, Highland, Minnetonka 1 and 2 precincts in Scottsbluff County. District residents wanting to be considered for appointments to fill the remainder of Curtis's term through December of 2024 should send a letter and resume by July 31st to the WCCA Board of Governors, care of Susan Verbeck, Board Secretary, 1601 East 27th Street, Scottsbluff, Nebraska, 69361. We'll have more news right after this.
Looking for free instead of fees? Platte Valley Bank can help you keep your finances moving forward with no ATM fees. Whether you're headed to the lake, the mountains, or just to the grocery store, you can enjoy the freedom of free ATM access anywhere, anytime. Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scottsbluff.
Welcome back. A rural Mitchell man is behind bars following a Wednesday morning shots fired investigation. 24-year-old Brandon Brown is facing charges including unlawful discharge of a firearm, use of a firearm to commit a felony, and criminal trespass. Sheriff Mark Overman says a woman reported that Brown was knocking at her back door with a gun, and then multiple shots were fired. Deputies found bullet holes in a nearby fence and vehicle upon arrival on scene. Brown was scheduled to make his initial appearance on the charges Friday morning in Scottsbluff County Court. And Allo Communications has gotten the green light to expand its service area to Mitchell. During the Mitchell City Council's July meeting, they gave approval for the telecommunications provider to begin the groundwork to provide fiber internet, television, and phone services to its residents. Currently, Allo is providing services to Scottsbluff, Gering, Alliance, Bridgeport, and Sidney in the Nebraska Panhandle. Clint Schleicher, Allo's general manager for the Western Nebraska region, says the company is excited to provide high-speed, reliable services to yet another Panhandle community. He says if everything goes according to plan, services will be available in Mitchell sometime in 2025.
I imagined retirement in a place where we could enjoy our golden years, where adventure and friendship are the only items on the schedule. The Garden Homes at Northfield gives us the luxury we planned for and peace of mind when it comes to convenience, safety, and comfort. We never have to stop and think about the day-to-day upkeep. We love to explore abroad, but most importantly in our backyard. So much to do, so much to see. Here at Northfield, we get the protection of life care, incredible tax benefits, and secured rates for aging services. It's peaceful, knowing that if our needs change, we'll be taken care of. And most importantly, that our kids will never have to make any tough decisions. There never seemed to be enough time to do all the things we wanted. Now we get to focus our energy on enjoying what this community has to offer. At the Garden Homes, life is ours again. A place we had dreamed about. A chance to focus on us.
This is KNEB.TV weather from the KNEB Storm Center, your trusted source for weather.
Well, the heat is still out there. We got dialed back a couple of degrees today, but that's really not a whole lot. And we do expect the heat to return in full force here as we get through the end of the weekend and into the early portions of next week. Let's take a look at that hour-by-hour forecast. We'll have a few thunderstorms here early this evening. They will quickly move out, though, and we'll be left with clearing skies through the remainder of the evening hours. Temperature yesterday, 103. We just missed a record by 1 degree. 60 was our low. As we take a look at precip, yeah, we were null and void of that again. Half an inch short for the month, back to 2 1/3 short for the year. That 103 yesterday, we checked that box off. We'll be above normal today, but about 5 to 7 degrees cooler than that. And precip, we'll see if we get some out here tonight over the next couple of hours. Tomorrow, a decent chance of seeing some showers and storms, especially in the afternoon. And we'll have temperatures tomorrow that are going to dial back a little bit as well. And winds are not too bad. They're going to remain mostly in the calmer side of things here as we go over the next couple of days. Let's take a look at our severe weather threat now. Tonight, we're really looking for a decent shot of some marginal severe thunderstorm activity, especially in the Panhandle and portions of southwestern South Dakota, adjacent portions of eastern Wyoming. That shifts and expands a little for tomorrow. You can see actually most of the western half of Nebraska under the threat of severe weather. Then that shifts even further to the south and east as we go into Sunday and moves further away from us. Temperatures cooler behind that frontal, it's not really a front, but a line of showers and storms out there. Otherwise hot out in front of it in the 90s still. Winds, you can see where some of those showers and storms currently located, and some gusts of the 20 to 30 mile an hour variety. Out the door tomorrow, we'll start the day off clear and nice. Temperatures in the 70s. We'll be in the 80s by lunchtime and into the 90s. And then we'll see another round of showers and storms move out here across the region. Futurecast shows those showers and storms pushing out quickly this evening. Clearing skies behind it. Sunny for most of the day tomorrow. Buildup of afternoon clouds. And a few showers and thunderstorms move across the region again tomorrow afternoon and early evening. They clear out Sunday. Then the chances of rain Sunday going to be out there, but a lot smaller than what we expect tomorrow. And then we're turning right back into a hot, dry weather pattern again. Lows tonight, mostly around the 60-degree mark. Highs tomorrow in the 90s. and enjoy it because we're going to warm back up behind that. Still a little bit of thunderstorm activity out there. And again, if you get under some of the heavier storms, don't be surprised if you don't pick up a little more precip. Cloudy early, then clearing skies tonight, 62 for your low. Those storms will end early. Tomorrow afternoon, storms return, 97 your expected high. And we're going to stay in the 90s Sunday. Then look at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, every day at or above 100 with no real chances of precip till maybe.
Santa in the pool? Oh my! Renewal by Anderson's incredible Christmas in July 2024 event is so great that even Santa is shocked. 20% off, no money down, no interest, no payments for 18 months. No payments until 2026. Windows, patio, and entry doors from Renewal by Anderson. And Renewal's Acclaim and Ensemble lines are the best of the best. Imagine no payments until 26. Please visit rbawyoming.com now. It's Christmas in July at Renewal by Anderson. It's so good even Santa is shocked.
Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver, along with a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the Scottsbluff Body and Paint Ag Desk. Scottsbluff Body and Paint, you're driving home our reputation.
It's time for Fridays in the Field, brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank.
Up next, I mentioned there's a certain buzz in the air. It's being caused by millions of honeybees that call this farm their home. Joining me now is beekeeper of this farm, Kevin Monfelt at Bee Bum. Kevin, appreciate the time today. Interested to hear how you got started with honeybees.
Well, it started as a hobby about 10 years ago, Bryce. I was in construction at that time, and one of my friends suggested that I needed a hobby, and so I bought a box of bees. My wife was shocked. She had no idea that I was getting them, and then they showed up, and it just has snowballed from there. We operate about 300 colonies right now. Our short-term goal is to be around 400 the next year or so.
It's a lot of honeybees. Try to put it in perspective. How many bees are in each one of these colonies?
This time of year, there's probably somewhere around 45 or 50,000 bees in there. So
we add all that up, comes to that million number I mentioned.
Yeah, a lot of bees, a lot of bees.
How do you go from hobby to commercial beekeeper?
I don't know. It just kind of happened. We've been very blessed. Everything, we couldn't have planned this to turn out the way that it has. I mean, there's been so many people that have helped us on our journey, and the farm that we're actually on was my wife's grandparents' place. My father-in-law grew up here, so a lot of family history for us, so it's great for us to be here. We love it. But as far as we started that first year with one hive. A few years later, we were up to around 12 or 13, and then we started dabbling in different products. We first was just giving our honey to our friends and family, and then we started selling things. And I wanted to do something different than what other people were doing. I wanted to do things just besides plain honey, so I really started studying creamed honey and infused honey. And those really are our gold mark products that we have here. I'm very proud of our creamed honey. We have about 18 different flavors throughout the year. We just came out with a new one called Lime and the Coconut, and it's really popular already. It's only been out a week, so we sold out of it at 2 events this weekend. So it's pretty crazy how things go, but yeah.
There's a lot of unique things about what you do, and I've been able to learn about them over the past couple of years getting to know you, Kevin. But one of those things is the fact that you take some of your beehives and travel south for the winter. Why do you do that?
Well, it's so that our bees will build up and be ready to split a little earlier than they would be if we left them here. So we sell new colonies to other beekeepers or people wanting to get into beekeeping. So a nucleus colony is just 5 frames of bees, brood, and a queen. Laying queen, and so we sell those typically they start going out the third week of April, and this year they went for a long time. I think we didn't finish. We had some onesie twosies that went out all the way until like June. So yeah.
What makes a good year for honeybees in Nebraska?
Oh boy, that's a tough question there. This has been a really good year. We've had banner honey crop this year. The rain, obviously has helped some. There's been an abundance of sweet clover this year, and a couple weeks ago the white sweet clover started kicking in as the yellow sweet clover was fading out. So and then also too, if you can build relationships with row crop farmers, you can get a little honey off of some soybeans too. So all of those things help to make it a good year. You got to stay on top of your bee health to make a good honey crop, though. Make sure your bees are healthy. So
that's where I wanted to go next. What's the single biggest challenge when it comes to having honeybees at this scale?
Keeping ahead of the mites. It really is. Where we go south for the winter, our bees start making mites much sooner than our bees that stay in Nebraska. So the bees that went south to Florida this year, we were doing splits on those already in late February. So they were brooding up the end of January down there already. And so they just, mites, one mite goes in a cell, 3 to 5 come out. So you got to stay ahead of those mites and treat. So those bees have been treated a lot more than our bees that stayed in Nebraska. But those mites are a vector for a lot of other diseases and stuff. And I could talk all day, honestly, about where that could go. But killing mites is really the beekeeper's #1 duty. You got to stay on top of that and keep those mites dead. So.
In the stores, when people see honey, obviously the byproduct of honey bees, pretty much at most you'll see a pound of honey being sold at a time, but give people an idea of the scale of what it's like to have 300 colonies. How many pounds of honey are you expecting to harvest this year?
We're hoping to be somewhere around 6,500 pounds. And quite honestly, that's pretty small scale compared to larger commercial operations that manage thousands of hives. We're pretty small in the scope of things, but we're pretty proud of that because that's going to be our biggest honey crop so far. So we're not just a beekeeping operation here. We also raise sweet corn and pumpkins that we have for sale here. So we're just kind of a little multifaceted 10-acre farm that we're just trying to keep things going.
Fridays in the Field is brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank. We'll see you next Friday.
You deserve to have a building that will last for generations. With more than 110 years of experience and thousands of satisfied customers, Morton Buildings is the industry leader you can trust. If you're planning for a garage, farm shop, horse barn, storage building for your RV, boat, or collectibles, there's no better time to buy. Contact your local Morton sales office or visit mortonbuildings.com to get started today.
Let's take a peek at your weekend community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
Pet waste and water don't mix. Animal waste decomposes in water, releasing nutrients, which deplete the oxygen fish and other life need to survive and encourage harmful algae growth. Animal waste also has disease-carrying bacteria, making contaminated water unusable. It's easy to prevent pet waste pollution. Simply pick up your pet's waste and dispose of it in a trash can, and avoid letting your pets defecate within 200 feet of our community's waterways. Tri-City Stormwater reminds you it's our water, our responsibility.
Tired of feeling stuck? Not sure if you are on the right track? Platte Valley Bank can help keep your finances moving forward with checking account options to fit your lifestyle and an online account chooser to make finding the right account easy. Control your financial future with helpful budgeting tools and automatic savings plans. Now is the time to enjoy the ride with Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
And finally tonight, the new Santa's Village was one of several topics Monday as the Gering Merchants Association updated the Gering City Council on their organization. In April, the merchants auctioned off the original buildings that have been used for decades. GMA Chair Renee Garton told the council those buildings are now getting a second life as children's playhouses and the like, with one notable exception.
We still kept the Santa building. It's hard to let that one go. That was the original building built by Tom Kozad, and it was his dream of all of this getting this started. So we're going to try to turn that into kind of a museum type of a thing for the merchants.
Garton said several businesses have stepped up to help with the production of the replacement buildings, which will be easier to move and store. She also noted that this coming holiday season, the new Santa's Village will be displayed at the Gering Civic Plaza. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.